In this video, we're going to partition a disk using Disk Manager. Click on Start, right-click Computer, click Manage. Once it opens up, click Disk Management. The disk that we're going to partition is our second hard disk. It's going to show up as Disk 1. The first hard disk shows up as Disk 0. Since this is a new hard disk, it's not been initialized yet. So what we need to do is initialize it. We're going to initialize it as a master boot record partition. This will give us 3 primary partitions and an extended partition, or 4 primary partitions. Click OK. So here's our disk. There's no partitions on it yet. It says it's unallocated. Right click, create a new simple volume. Next, and we can specify the size here in megabytes. So if we want a 10 gig drive, we can say 10,000 megabytes. Click next, and we can give it a label here. In this case, I'm just going to leave the default label of new volume. Click next, and then finish. And that will create a 10 gig partition, format it, and when it's done, it'll automatically pop up and ask you to open it. So this is our new partition. If I click on Computer, I can see it's there. For this partition, we mounted it to the E drive. If you wanted to, you could actually mount it to a folder. On my C drive, I'm going to create a new folder called New Partition. Then I'm going to go back to Disk Management. I'm going to right-click the unallocated space and say New Simple Volume. Click Next. And again, I'm going to make it 10 gigs. Click Next. And instead of assigning it a drive letter of F, that's our next available drive letter, I'm going to mount it to a folder on an NTFS partition. Browse. And then I'm going to scroll down to our new folder we created called New Partition. Click OK. And so when this disk is mounted, instead of going to this F drive to get to it, we can go to the C New Partitions folder, and that will be our new partition. Click Next. I'm just going to leave the default volume. I'm going to keep it formatted to NTFS as opposed to FAT32. We'll do a quick format. Click Next, then Finish. So here is our first partition we created that's mounted to our E drive. This is our second partition. It's mounted to a folder called New Partition on our C drive. So if I look at that folder icon now, I can see that it's changed. So if I double click this, I can see that I'm on my new partition. Any files that I create will be saved to that new partition and won't take up any space on the C drive. That's it for this lesson.